Hi, I'm Aisha 1Q, and Mata is my #1 hospital. My encounter at Mata Hospital was actually so far my best, because you see, when you enter the doctor's room, the doctor is just ready to listen, the doctor is warm, the doctor is kind.
We have a wide range of inpatient and outpatient services, including accidents and emergencies, offering services for both children and adults.
And I would wish young people could come here too, so that they could feel how I felt. That's why I keep coming to Mata over and over and over. Their services, top notch.
Mata Misericordia Hospital. You matter to us.
A very warm good morning to you, dear viewer, and welcome to the Health Discourse with me, Captain Sasha, right here, live from our headquarters in Karen. This is the Health Discourse, your weekly space for engaging, your fortnight space for engaging, honest, and of course, life-changing conversations surrounding your health and wellness in society. Today, the 5th of May, 2025, of course, 5 is constant, and we are diving into a topic that affects all of us: mental health. In a world full of pressure, uncertainty, and a lot of noise, taking care of our minds has never been more urgent. And with us is a trusted voice in the mental health space, Martha Wamongu Kilonzo, a seasoned counseling psychologist at Mata Hospital. I'll just allow her to just say hi to our viewer. Good morning, Martha.
Yeah, good morning, Elizabeth.
Yes.
It's my joy to be here.
Great.
Once again, this has been another season that you're talking about mental health in our society.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
So prior to the Easter season, we had a conversation that we touched on some of the stressors, just generally the statistics on how mental health is affecting people in our country and even beyond our borders. So how has it been?
Thank you for that question. Wow, again, mental health is becoming the in thing in our society today, given that we're just coming out of the Easter season, whereby you find a majority had traveled, but again, compared to last year, I think the issues to do with mental issues are really paramount. You find that a bigger number were not able to travel. And you are asking, what raised that? It's that people are they're not in employment. Their source of income is a bit low. So they opted not to travel, to just be indoors, whether in their urban centers and just doing their normal things.
Exactly. Okay, thank you, Mother, for making time for this conversation. But just to let you know that we really value your feedback. Of course, we'll get to dive deep into that and many more questions. If you have any question about mental health, feel free to weigh in on the conversation. Our number is, as it appears on your TV, 0717-424-866. Feel free as well to drop your questions, your comments and contributions on our social media platforms, that is on Facebook and YouTube. You can use the hashtag mental health. So now let's start with understanding the mental health landscape, Mother. How would you describe the current state of mental health in Kenya, particularly among youth and working adults?
So when we're talking about mental health as far as the working population is concerned, we have 3.7. That is a big population, 3.7 million. That is the working class. You find that they're subjected either to depression, to the anxiety, or even to substance use. These are conditions that an individual may face these in their life as far as working is concerned. Then now when we go to the younger generation, which is the adolescents, that is, they range from 15 years all the way to 18, and also the young ones to 24 years. You find they're also struggling with the mental issues. And so according to WHO, we have their statistics as 10.7, again 10%. Again, this is also a big number in our country. This is Kenya. It is a big number, and you find, again, there are issues to do with lack of employment, lack of regular income. So you find all these, they are raising the prevalence of mental health in our society. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. the years from, let me say from 2020 in our country, because the first case I think was announced on the 13th, I remember very well, of March 2020. The post-COVID and economic stressors, what lingering effects from the COVID-19 pandemic and the current economic hardships are you seeing in patients' mental health, well-being? What is the curve like?
Again, the curve is also on the higher side. You find that post-COVID, we are still trying, as a country, we are still trying to stabilize. Again, I would say the percentage is a bit minimal, again, according to the WHO, where we are finding the statistics are also very huge in number. And you find that most of these are the youth, and the category that is falling there, it is the Gen Z. So you find most of them, there is no employment. The job insecurity is also an issue. You find that even the household duties, they're not being performed, because again, these are individuals who are facing challenges as far as mental health is concerned. So it is a big number which is growing every other day. And I don't know whether this would be the right example, because like what happened yesterday, I think you saw it, it's all over. Yes. Again, this is also an issue as far as the post-COVID. We find that mental health has become very rampant, and people are not able to address it in the right way. So they're just struggling with it, and then in the process of anything that comes up or even crops up, they just want to vent it. They just want to release it out. So the numbers are rising, and they're there every day.
Yeah, during the COVID-19, I think so many people suffered. Those who are employed, the ones in the business space, some had to close down their businesses. Some had, even some families were breaking apart. It ripped apart even families, those who have been together, because now you spend time together. Some of them, maybe they had to lose their means of livelihood. Do you think this ghost is still haunting them, or are we past that? Are these cases you are facing about mental health, about some recent things that are happening?
We are yet to pass. We are still in the same, because you can bear me witness. It's not like things have gone, they are better. It's actually like they're going from worse, they're going deeper. So you find every other day, issues are just coming up, issues are just cropping up. And I would say like now, currently as a nation, the issues to do with taxes, they are really skyrocketed. And this is a show, it's a sign that things are not actually working out well. They're just progressing, being worse and worse every other day. You can imagine if you are employed, your payslip is being subjected to different taxes. And this is something that even the employers are not able to add on top, because they're also being, they are also a target. So you find everyone is in one way or the other being affected because of what is happening in our country. And so, yes, we are away from the COVID, but again, some of these issues that we experience, being locked in the house, lack of job, people are yet to get back to the employment, lack of finances to cater for their basic needs, they're still in that round whereby they're still struggling with what to do or even what to put on their table.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Martha. Now, let's look at technology. I know so many people have looked at both the positive and the negatives, and for a long time, social media has been described, or the internet, as a double-edged sword. How has it impacted mental health from your perspective, from where you sit as a mental health psychologist?
The online thing is again something that is really coming up, or rather has really affected the mental space. You find that there are issues to do with cyberbullying, which is very key in our society. Again, you find most of our youth, most of the time, the only time they have, it's been involved in online. So you find they're always online. And as a result, they get to know more about mental health. At the same time, there's so much that is going on there. So if one is not able to seize, or even to have some limits as far as internalizing what the cyber is saying, what the online space is saying about mental health, so you find it's really going to affect how one thinks, how one feels, and also the behaviors that come along with that. So we need, I think, either a regulation, or even as you integrate the online space, are you at a place whereby you can say, this is what I'm able to feed in my system, and this is also what I can be able to say now. Enough of the online, so that you don't get issues to do with cyberbullying and the like.
There has been concern about decreasing physical interaction, unlike before when I could just come and check on you, look at you, face-to-face conversation, mother, how are you doing? There's some cues that somebody can pick non-verbally when you have this physical interaction. But we have a lot of online, so we find that nowadays, because of that reduced physical interaction, people feel maybe pushed to share on social media, but sometimes the feedback they get is not what they expect. Do you think this has somehow exacerbated mental health situations?
Yes, Elizabeth, that one has really risen it, because you find most of us, we are really spending a lot of time online. And you find the social, as you're saying, the social connections are no longer there. You find most of the things, or one is chatting, or just involved in their phones. So you find they don't have even that space to be able to interact. You don't even know what is happening to the next person. And that's why you find, even when the mental issues are coming up, one tends to withdraw. And in the process of withdrawing, it's because of what they're internalizing. So you find the other person may not be able to tell, is it a sign that is cropping up, or it's just a lifestyle that one is adapting to? Because you find they tend to isolate, either if it's children, they're always locking themselves in their bedroom. And what are they doing at that time? They're busy with their phones, or rather they are busy with their televisions, they're busy with their laptops. So at that point, because also their parents are busy with their phones, so the social interactions becomes an issue. Not only that, I think recently I visited a restaurant, and you would find it's a family gathering, but they are all busy with their phones. So as much as it's an outing that you had gone with a family or with your immediate family members, you're not able to detect, is a certain child having a behavior that has risen, or as far as mental health is concerned. So you find as a society, we are failing, and we need to raise up to the occasion and even do something so that you can be able to detect, is it a symptom? Is it a sign? This moment whereby one is just withdrawing and they're getting, say, addicted to the gadgets that we're having.
Absolutely, and thank you for giving that example, which also reminds me of an image that made rounds on social media where grandchildren and children had gone to visit their grandma in the village, and you know, they was all surrounding the old woman, but all of them are glued on their phone. So literally she's just alone in the middle, and everyone, they're just taking selfies to share on social media. Nobody even bothers to ask how this old woman is faring, on just looking them in the eye to get to know how they're doing. And yes, it's okay.
Even at the same time, you find probably we are taking our kids to their grandkids back at home, up country. You find even the language barrier is there. So these kids, they're not even being trained on how to even socialize with their grandma. You find maybe they're just using their native language, and then these ones are just using English. So at the end of it, the gadget that you're using, as you're saying, they just want to interact with that. So the grandma, you just went and you just live the way you went. And so it poses the question then, why then did we take the kids out there? Yeah.
Absolutely, thank you. And are there any societal or cultural beliefs that perhaps in Kenya that could hinder someone with mental health issues from seeking help?
Yes, there are many. Again, remember, we are all social beings, and we also come from societal, or rather we come from a background whereby we've been, either because of where we've been brought up or even how the culture dictates. So you find that those cultures, say, as far as you're having a mental issue, then it's either your witchcraft, issues to do with witchcraft, or even there's a curse in that society. So again, in our society, the mental issues are, the mental issues awareness are coming up. So whereby it doesn't mean that because you are collecting garbages on the road, you've been witched, or it's a result of witchcraft. So there are other issues that are coming up, which could be a mental disorder, which needs to be assessed by a professional person so that they can be able to be guided well. So you find, again, in the urban center, mental health is coming up. But again, in the rural, it's still not yet, because you find maybe for lack of awareness, or even the professionals that could be guiding or even giving out these ideas. Yeah.
Is it something maybe you have encountered in your line of duty?
Yes. I think I've encountered quite a number. Again, there's also the issue to do with stereotyping, or even some saying that the fact that one is going through a mental issue, it's because maybe their family has a certain pattern. So you find there are those beliefs that a certain individual may believe that this is it, this one runs in our family. And so for you to be able to work it out and maybe to psychoeducate them, or rather even to share the insights that yes, it runs in the family, but there's a way out. There's a way that you can be able to cope with it. You find an individual just say, from our family, from my culture, from my area, if you don't have such a certain condition, then it's either you are an outcast or you don't even belong to that family.
So there's a way, such cases, mental health issues that are run through the family or are hereditary, there's a way they can be handled.
Yes, they can. Because again, remember when you're talking about mental health, one of the causes, it's because it's hereditary, it's biological, so they run in the families. And as much as they run in the family, it doesn't mean that because my dad had a mental disorder, I'll also get it. So there is a way of, if you are able to assess it earlier on, even in the initial stages, one is able to go through the medical, through the process, and be able to get out of it. Because again, it's all what you have been subjected to. Or rather, if you agree to come out and seek coping mechanism, then one is able to work it out well.
Great. I think this is also part of the available support modalities in Kenya, the gendered experiences. We have had a lot of conversations around how men and women deal with mental health issues. And of course, societal expectations are also here, and they do affect the victims. Are there any noticeable differences between men and women in Kenya, how they experience and respond to the mental health challenges?
So for women, it's a bit easier for them. Again, I think women like to talk a lot, and they like sharing their experiences, they like sharing their issues, they like sharing how they are raising their children, or even how they are facing challenges at their workplace. So they are a bit talkative. So for them, if a woman is subjected to any mental health or any mental condition, they are able to handle it in a better way, because we say a problem shared is a problem solved. So for women, it's very easy, and they're able to navigate it. Unlike for men, they say they want to die with it. So it's even very hard for you to find a man who is crying, or a man who is even going out there to verbalize that. Maybe I've been violated by a woman, or even I'm going through domestic issue in my marriage, I'm having issues. So you find them, they just want to stay strong and fight it. And so as a result, men tend to be affected more than the ladies, because you find even when they are going through a small issue, like today there was a lot of traffic. So you find they don't want even to see that was just a normal thing, like I'm stressed because there's traffic. They just want to blot it out and to just work it out on their own, because they feel it is not okay for a man to say, to cry or even to share. But we need to demystify that even men do cry, and it is okay even to express your emotions and also to seek help. It doesn't mean that the fact that you're a man, you're just the head of the home, you're the priest, you just want to die with all this. So once in a while, they're also called out too. So that makes the difference. You find the ladies, they're outgoing, they will just share anything that they feel like, but for a man, they just want to close it. And now when they're closing it, now it becomes an issue, and now there we get now the burnout. Yes.
So it gets worse.
It gets worse.
Now to the extremes. On that, I think society plays a big role, because they say, like, whatever we do or believe in, whatever our worldviews, all these are shaped by where we are and our social orientation when we are still young. So these men, probably those who grew up and the society piles pressures like, you are a man, you are hurt, you're not supposed to cry. You something you feel like disappointed, you're not supposed to share. Just keep it to yourself because you are a man. What is it that the society needs to do in itself? Because we can't just wake up one day and tell them, okay, It's okay to do this. It's okay to share.
Yeah, okay, so we still need to go back to the basics. Because again, a child, or rather when we're describing mental health, we really take it back to the childhood experiences. So when a child, or maybe the boy child is growing up, what are they being subjected to at that early stages of growth? So you find if they have been corrected as a child, remember this is a child who is growing up, and maybe they've just done a small mistake, and you're correcting them in the name of, you are a boy, you should not cry. You're a boy, you should not do this and this. So you find they will grow up knowing, I should not cry, I should not be like a lesser person, I need just to be this strong person. So when they're growing up, allow them to be child, and tell them it is okay even for them to cry. It is okay to verbalize. And once in a while, let them just be this small child. You find that when they are doing something, or you just want to make them become a parent at that early age, like maybe the older child is a daughter, and then this one is a boy. So you tell them you need to be the guardian angel, or even to be the one to protect your elder sister. Well, in most cases, the elder sister should be the one now, if at all, it's taking care of this small one. But you find this is a second born or even a third born, and being given all the roles or the responsibilities of taking, just because you are a boy, you need to take care of your elder sisters. So what are we training them? What are we teaching them from that early ages? So that we bring out a difference in our society, so that the taboo of man just needs to man up. That is a word that needs to just get out of us. Because again, what are we telling them? You find even in our environment where we're working with, you find if you just like talking and talking and talking, they say, "Squeeze umekuwa mwanamke." Well, that is not the case. So these are myths that need to be demystified, so that we just allow the boy child to just be a child.
Like umekuwa na umama.
Umekuwa na umama sana, kazi yako tu kuongea and everything. Yeah. Yes, so we need to break a balance. Yes.
Great. Now, okay, let's talk about access to care, because I think it's the most important thing. The people in the rural populations, even in the urban area, I think mental health affects all. Like you mentioned last time when you're having the conversation, that it does not discriminate. Anyone can be susceptible to a mental health disease or disorder at any given time, and you never see it coming probably in some cases. Is mental health care accessible and affordable, particularly to the average Kenyan? That one in the rural areas, or even in the informal settlements in our country, in the urban areas?
Yes, it's readily available, and at the same time it's also accessible. We have the public facilities which offer the mental health services free of charge, and you also have other NGOs, organizations that they also offer these services free. And I think if anyone is facing any issue to do with mental health, and they're able to just walk in any public facility, they are going to be given the best services that they want as far as mental health is concerned. Away from that, you also have private facilities which have some subsidiaries charges, and as a result of these, you find the average individuals are able to access these services. And I want to mention Mater Hospital, whereby we have these services, and our charges are relatively very fair. So anyone can just walk in and get the services at their disposal. Yes.
Great. I'm told it's time to take a breather, but when we come back, we'll still delve more onto access to care, particularly on where there are some loopholes, given that the fight against mental health has been ongoing, but still there are some cases that keep on increasing. So we are going to look at what is it that you are not doing well, and where can we improve. So stay tuned. We'll be right back in a short while.
My name is Jemima Kaigongi. I'm expecting my first baby. The Mater Hospital is my hospital. It's where I normally attend my clinics. They have very nice, good services, and they look deep in your well-being
At Mata Hospital, we have a wide range of inpatient and outpatient services, including accidents and emergencies, offering services for both children and adults.
The journey with the gynecologist has been very good, and with Mata Hospital there is nothing to be afraid of, especially when you are expectant.
Visit our website or any of our medical centers across the country. Mata Misericordia Hospital. You matter to us.
Touch a child's heart. Get ready for one of Kenya's biggest charity runs, where every step helps save a child's heart. Happening simultaneously across 10 major locations on Saturday, the 31st of May 2025. In Nairobi, Ulinzi Sports Complex, Mombasa, Loreto Convent, Kakamega, Bishop Sulumeti Girls. In Nakuru, Nakuru Athletics Club, Kericho in Kericho Teachers College, Kisumu Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Ground, Bomet St. Mary's Day and Boarding Primary, in Nyeri, the Dedan Kimathi University of Technology, in Eldoret, Moi Girls High School, and in Machakos, Machakos School. Participate, donate, and make a difference. All proceeds go towards providing life-saving heart surgeries for children in need. Channel your contributions through Mpesa Paybill number 655-6555. Account name, your name. Grab your Heart Run merchandise now. T-shirts going for 1,000 Kenyan shillings only. Caps for 500 Kenyan shillings and wristbands at 300 Kenyan shillings only. For more information, contact us on 0793 310 053 or send an email to heartrun@matokenya.com. You can also follow the movement on our various social media handles: Facebook Mata Heart Run, at the Heart Run on X, and Instagram the Mata Heart Run, or visit our website at www.matakenya.com. Let's come together and run with purpose. The Mata Heart Run, the heart of mercy.
My names are Edwin Mugai Wamae. I'm constant attender of Mata Misericordia for the last 30 years or so. Reasons being costs, vis-a-vis the services and the personnel. I find it very competitive, and also the doctors who attend to me are knowledgeable in so many problems that I suffer from.
We have a wide range of inpatient and outpatient services, including accidents and emergencies, offering services for both children and adults.
Very beautiful amber parking. I do not think we have many hospitals to compare with their services in this country. Mata is the best place to go.
Mata Misericordia Hospital. You matter to us.
All right, welcome back. We are great. You're still keeping tabs with us here on Health Discourse, of course, brought to you by Capuchin TV in partnership with the Mater Misericordia Hospital. We are discussing on mental health, quite a timely topic. And with me in studio is Martha Kilonzo, a counseling psychologist representing Mater Hospital. And before we went for a break, we were talking about the available care for mental health patients. But first, I can read some of your feedback. We have Felix Wambua who says, we are together on this. Great, Wambua. We have David Bargain, says he's following, I don't know from where. But just keep, in case you have questions, you have comments, just drop them and we shall sample them as and when the time allows. We move forward with our conversation. Martha, what is it we said, we promised our viewer that we'd look into? What is it that we are not doing well? Is there room for improvement? So what would you recommend we improve in as far as caregiving is concerned to mental health patients?
So as earlier on, I think we need to create more awareness so that you don't find individuals out there misusing the words, or rather misusing the diagnosis of mental health. So you find like the common one, which is mostly used, is depressed. People say they're depressed out of nowhere from anything. You just find someone saying, I'm depressed. Yet for you to be depressed, it needs to be a condition, or rather some symptoms. You need to have gone through some symptoms for quite some time. So creating awareness and also coming up with campaigns on how best can we address this, and also coming up with policies. How can we be able now to address the issues to do with mental health? Again, also making sure that we have professionals who are available. Not everyone. You find that there are institutions that probably they're not offering the right guidance as far as mental health is concerned. So you find if we have the professionals, the policies are there, and also sensitizing the community more on health, on mental health, then it becomes easier even for us now to be able to address the concerns that are raising up.
Thank you. Last year in June, the Parliament amended the Penal Code to decriminalize attempted suicide. What do you think are the implications of this change, particularly on mental health care and the support systems available, particularly on people in crisis?
Okay, now like last year, the bill was passed. Initially, it was constitution for anyone going through suicide ideation or even attempting to commit suicide. They were being criminalized. But again, now last year it was lifted up, so it's now unconstitutional. So you find if an individual is attempting or even tried to attempt, or even having those suicide ideation, it's not a crime. So they are being referred. And that does not mean that an individual is now going to be readily or even able to continue practicing or even thinking about those issues. So one is required in the event that you feel like you really want to commit this act, seek help. Talk to maybe to your family members. At the same time, you can also talk to a trusted friend and even seek help so that you can be guided in the right way possible.
How do you see this affecting the way mental health professionals like yourself engage with clients, especially those struggling with suicidal thoughts?
It's again, currently, I think what is coming up is that the individuals are aware of what is happening, and you find that there are life stressors which are escalating as a result. And so when one is going through the life stressors in life, they tend to, maybe they've tried to cope with it. They are not able to address the raising issue. Maybe it's an issue to do with job insecurity. So because they are not able, so the only other option that they have is now it leads to depression, and then it escalates to suicidal. So at this point, as mental health now, we come in to just help them and to listen to them, to either change their thought patterns. Remember, again, we're saying as far as mental health is concerned, it is how you're thinking, how you're feeling, and then how you're behaving. So if you're not thinking positively, if you're always drawing the negative thoughts, it will lead to a negative behavior. And so before the negative behavior, we bring them on board, we try to listen to them, the thought pattern, for how long has it been going on, so that they can now be assisted on how best can they be able to come up and navigate the challenge that they are going through.
Great. There's this one says he doesn't want his name to be mentioned, but he says that I feel it's difficult to share what I'm going through with my partner because it's like sharing my weaknesses. What role do partners play for people struggling with mental health issues? Can a partner be somebody who can offer support and maybe help mitigate the impact of mental health challenges?
Okay. Yeah, again, when you're talking about partners in any relationship, so there are those who are able to offer, and at the same time, there are those also, again, who are not able to help or even to offer any support as far as mental health is concerned. So you find as a partner, there's that ball that you create, and that's why you're able, you can hear like our listener is saying, she finds it a bit difficult to share what she's going through with it. So have they created that rapport? Because again, in counseling, we talk about creating a rapport. Is it someone that you can trust? So do you have some extent? To what level are you able to trust this person so that you can be able to share your life? You can be able to share your life issues that you are going through. So for this listener, is not able to do that with a partner, and that tells you a lot. There is a fear of being judged, there is a fear of being labeled, and also there is a fear of being seen as a weaker person. What if? So, and as a result of that, this listener is not able to share with this partner. So you need to identify what are the issues, what are the triggers, what is it that is making you not being able to share with your partner. Then if you're not able to share with your partner, maybe get someone else, a close friend, share with them. And if still that's not sustainable, then now you can be able to seek for a professional help. So the partners, they play a role, but again, there's that limit. There are those who are just friends. They don't judge you, they'll just listen to you. You've created that rapport, you've created that relationship, so you can talk and share anything without the fear of being judged or even being labeled. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of partners, of course, you might be afraid of maybe being judged or labeled, as Martha says, but there are other people who are approachable, who could be of help, and probably you don't want to come across as a weak person. And especially for men, for women, as you say, we're always free to share. Speaking of this support, we have parents, we have guardians who can be able to tell, and partners also fall under this category. With the rising cases of unrest and increasing pressure on students and those who are unemployed, graduates, we are seeing a trend of mental health red flags. How can partners, parents, guardians, and even friends what should they look out for, these red flags, so that they can be able to help or support a friend?
So the category of people that you're mentioning, they're also very key as far as mental health is concerned. And you find that we all belong in a society. So we are either coming from a home, or we have the working environment where we normally spend most of our time, that is 8 hours. And then we also have our other social gatherings where we are. So it's very key for the people that we associate with to be able to learn, this is Martha, and this is how she behaves when she's happy, this is how she behaves when she's sad, or even when she's going through a certain emotion in their life. So when we talk about, when we go back now at home, you need to identify, are these children, where are they withdrawing? This child has just been playful, this child has just been all over, and then all of a sudden they just withdraw. And they're not withdrawing because they have a phone. They're not withdrawing because they want to watch a tele. They just want to withdraw to be in their bedroom, just to sleep, and just doing nothing. Or again, they're also becoming very irritable. Those are signs that you need to check. What is happening? Is it that they are getting affected in school? Or is it that there is an issue that is cropping up, and as a parent you need to? At workplace, maybe you've been given some roles to do, some targets, and you've just been performing them without any issue. Then all of a sudden you just stop doing this. So either you're absent, you're not able to meet the deadlines, or even if you do the assignment that you're doing, it is full of errors. These are signs that something is happening. So the immediate caregivers, or rather the people that you're associating with, they need to be conversant with you and also be able to read. You find that even reporting to work, you're always late. And it's not like a one-off, it's every day. Then you don't have a reason, either you are, and even if you report, you just want to go to be seen by the doctor. It's a concern. And at the same time, you're just absent, or you just want to take leaves every now and then off for no apparent reason. So you find these are red flags that one can be able to see. Yes.
And thank you very much for that, Martha. We have different players in as far as mental health wellness is concerned. I'm just wondering, do churches, mosques, and local communities have a role to play in promoting mental health wellness in our society today?
Yes, they have a very big role. When you talk about mosques, we talk about the churches. I think like the church that I attend, I've heard of different sensitization, we'll call them seminars, whereby they bring on board counselors to just educate their members on issues to do with counseling, or even issues to do with mental health. So you find, I also believe the mosque, they also have such activities. And so this is all round. It's an holistic thing. It's not only for the counselors who are trained, but we also find that churches need also to come in big numbers to be able to sensitize their communities, to sensitize their washirikas, so that they can show them the way. You find that if they integrate this, then it becomes easier. You also find they also offer counseling services, they offer trainings, all these, so that an individual is able to be not only spiritually, they can also integrate the counseling bit of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I know in the Catholic Church, there's usually that the psychosocial department, the department that offers psychosocial support. I think there's one also at Mater Hospital. I remember doing a documentary. I spoke to some of the brothers, including Brother William, who also offer that kind of service. And I believe there's need for every institution to have that department, because we cannot overlook that, okay, these are people, especially if you are medics, that okay, these people are experts in this field and they're not susceptible to mental health issues.
Yeah, so it needs to be integrated in all institutions, in all organizations. And I must say that that's a plus in our society currently, because you find every other organization, they are either having their own counselors on board, or they integrate, or they bring on board others from other institutions to just come and share about mental health in there. So in schools, we have counselors. In big institutions, like you're saying, in churches, they're all there. And this is I think it's a wake-up call to everyone. So at every institution, as far as we have individuals in that institution, then we need a counseling body. We need an individual who can be able now to work with the people that are there.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk a bit about workplace mental health. Mental health in the workplace is rarely addressed openly. Usually it's just behind closed doors. What should employers do differently to support their employees' well-being in as far as mental health is concerned?
I think the employees need to integrate the counseling services in their organization. And one of them is by having professional counselors who can be able now to see their staff. And at the same time, making sure that their staffs are well informed the importance of these professionals who are there, so that it's not like just walking in like a colleague. Again, we need a professional person who can be able to step in so that they offer these services to their staff. At the same time, providing maybe seminars, having some walks, some talks as far as, or even trainings as far as the mental health is concerned to these different organizations. And at the same time, they need also to integrate others from outside so that they can be able to come and just share the knowledge that they have to these staff.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one thing having this counseling department, and it's another thing having an operational counseling department, because some organizations have it, but it's dysfunctional. It's not functioning. Probably there's somebody there, but they're only waiting for the red flags. Probably with maybe routine seminars. It could be, maybe the organization is able to tell early enough that maybe there's somebody who is going through something before it gets to alarming levels.
Yeah, that one is key. Again, you find that I think another thing that I would say, as far as having an internal profession in a setup becomes an issue, because again, from where we are coming, it's like now you've created a relationship. So when we find there's that dual relationship, colleagues may see the profession as a colleague or even as one of them. So they may not feel very safe and secure for the fear of being mentioned to the other colleagues. So I think currently what I'm seeing, most of the institution, again, as much as they have that functional counseling department, they also bring in people from outside. So that it's like now it stamps the authority of having a counseling department. But now if you say, like, I am working in a certain department and I am having friends who are my colleagues, then it makes it very difficult for them now to be able to come and see me, because the assumption is what I share is going to be used against me. Yeah, so again, and in the aspect, in the absence of this professional, it's also good to be referred. Maybe they can be given other outlets to be referred to a certain, either to a certain unit for them to be seen by a different psychologist.
Thank you, Martha. And could you share, as we wind up, could you share a few practical, affordable self-care strategies for our viewer dealing with anxiety, burnout, and depression?
Okay, well, thank you for that. So you find physical fitness is one of them. That is a very practical exercise that one can be able to do. And it doesn't mean that you'll walk to the gym to pay. No, even walking 15, 20, 30 minutes every day, that in itself is a self-care practice that one can be able to do. Again, is eating well, not just anything. Currently, we are hearing about reducing on carbs intake. So how best can you be able now to take the right quantity of food for you to be able now to work well with your mental health? Again, also sleeping. How many hours are you using to sleep? Just that simple, because again, you don't anything to be taught on how best you can be able to assess the sleep. Also investing in a good mattress, just not any other. How are you sleeping? Even for you to be able to get into that bedroom and say, by the way, I really need to sleep. How is your room? How well is it? Those are practical steps that you need to. Even the way you are dressing, the way you are talking. You see, those are practical. Is it that every other time you see Elizabeth just asking you, so how is your morning? You are always thinking or even overthinking. Maybe this is not just a genuine concern. It's not a genuine greeting. You are always overthinking. Can you be able to balance? And those are just but a few, some of the practical examples that one can be able to go through to be able to live well as far as the mental health is concerned.
Well, and they say it's okay to take a break and rest. Don't just be on the run always. Your body is not a machine, it's a body. Now, as your parting shot, please let us know what you offer, Matter, the services, fill us in on the iconic Matter Heart Run, the annual cardiac program.
Thank you for that, Elizabeth. So as Matter Mesiocordial Hospital, we are currently running the program of cardiac, and this is a program that started in 1995, and currently this is the month whereby we are sourcing funds to be able to address the less fortunate in our society, and we are calling upon schools, we are calling upon hospitals, we are calling upon people of all well-wishers to support us in this cardiac program. So you'll see some children having the flyers, collecting funds, and the work is going to be happening on 31st of this month. And we have the walk in different places. We have Nairobi, whereby it's going to be at Ulinzi Sports Club. We also have Nakuru, Kisumu, and different parts. So when you see these our papers coming along, kindly support us by getting a t-shirt, getting a cape, and also a wristband, and we'll really appreciate. for that. So thank you so much.
Great. So we prepare to touch a child's heart.
Yes, touch a child's heart and put a smile in a child's heart.
Yes, you don't have to be there physically. You can just buy. How can people make the purchases?
Yes, the purchases are going through. You can either walk in any Mater hospital near you. You can be able to buy the T-shirts. You can be able to buy the cape. You can also be able to buy the. Then again, because of accountability, we have a Paybill number. Which I don't know whether I should be able to say it here, but again, when you're buying, you also need to identify, or rather walk in any facility for you to be able to walk out with the item that you've been able to purchase. So we have our Paybill number, which is 655 6555, and then you put your name under the account name and then the amount. The T-shirts are going for 1,000, the capes are going for 500, and the wristband are going for 300. Yes,
absolutely. And we compiled an advert that will be running just as we close this. It has details on where the run will be organized, just as Martha has shared, and the items that are on sale. Of course, you'll get more details, and of course, if you have some inquiries, you can make inquiries. We have some contacts that are available there. Thank you very much, Martha. We really appreciate your time, your insights, and keep doing what you're doing best. We'll also try our best, because it's not a one-month show dealing with the mental health issues. We really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Great, and that brings us to the end of our today's health discourse today. We appreciate our guest. It has been practical advice on nurturing mental health in these trying times. To our viewer, remember, mental health is not a luxury. It is a priority. So let's keep the conversation going in our homes, in our churches, in our mosques, in our workplaces, and communities at large. And if you or someone you know is struggling, don't suffer in silence. Help is available. It is palpable. I've been your host, Captain Abeth. And until next time, stay safe, stay grounded, and take care of your mind, for it matters. See you next time. Goodbye.
Touch a child's heart. Get ready for one of Kenya's biggest charity runs, where every step helps save a child's heart. Happening simultaneously across 10 major locations on Saturday, the 31st of May 2025. In Nairobi, Ulinzi Sports Complex, Mombasa, Loreto Convent, Kakamega, Bishop Sulumeti Girls. In Nakuru, Nakuru Athletics Club, Kericho in Kericho Teachers College, Kisumu Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Ground, Bomet St. Mary's Day and Boarding Primary, in Nyeri, the Dedan Kimathi University of Technology, in Eldoret, Moi Girls High School, and in Machakos, Machakos School. Participate, donate, and make a difference. All proceeds go towards providing life-saving heart surgeries for children in need. Channel your contributions through Mpesa Paybill number 655 6555. Account name, your name. Grab your Heart Run merchandise now. T-shirts going for 1,000 Kenyan shillings only. Capes for 500 Kenyan shillings and wristbands at 300 Kenyan shillings only. For more information, contact us on 0793 310 053 or send an email to heartrun@matokenya.com. You can also follow the movement on our various social media handles: Facebook Mata Heartrun, @the Heartrun on X, and Instagram The Mata Heartrun. or visit our website at www.matakenya.com. Let's come together and run with purpose. The Matter Heart Run, the heart of mercy.